concentrated bow, so that we can really sing dee da dee da dee da dee da. And perhaps, you know, as we go up all the way to the firsts, they can then use a bit lighter, less dense bow, perhaps, so that it really creates this real profile to the string sound.
What do those slur lines mean?
You know, this long one is really just to give an idea that it's one gesture. I certainly don't think you have to play it all under one bow, but it's just to give that sense that it's, you know, going all the way to dee da da. It's more like a phrasing mark, I guess.
So that would be as it comes within the
I would, yeah, actually, I would, after the first 3 notes, if you include the grace note. Yeah, I would play it as it comes. Really vibrating through that, keeping the bow moving. And then for this next bar, really intensifying the vibrato into that second beat, which, you know, is emphasized by the trumpets, can really help to kind of highlight that moment. I like to think of it as kind of like, you know, just an open sound. It's rich, but again, it's not too into the string. So, you know, kind of, rather than a little bit less resistance, if you will. So kind of I'm constantly kind of thinking as if I'm like blowing air out. And again, I think, yeah, this idea of air and constant motion. Nah, I don't think so. But when you have now that works. You know, that's just what violinists do really well. So I think we should, you know, allow them, enable them. Generally speaking, you know, with glisses, I think it works better when it goes up. That sort of thing. And really playing as full length as possible, having the quickest retake between these 2 notes. So I like them down, down, and then these 8th notes really heavy as well. Basses, 2 bass soli have the pizzas with the staccato bassoons and horns. So I think that these pizzas should be really quite dry. And one thing I mentioned before, timbres with pits, I think the drier and more metallic perhaps of a sound, a little bit closer to the bridge, and something a little more warm, closer to the scroll, or further from the bridge rather. You know, I spoke about how Ricochet needs to have both the sense that they're tossed off but also controlled, especially here when it has to be, you know, it's going along with a very strict motor. The bowing, I think, that makes most sense is to do 2 notes down and up. And you can see that the seconds and the celli have just repeated notes, but the firsts and the violas have different notes. So they're actually crossing strings with this. And so each of these different figures have their own challenges. In Dvorak's music, I think we find a lot of times it's very rustic. So, you know, in this case, I think it would work well if it is non-Divisi, so we can really hear, in a way, the crunch of the harmony. But I do think that the sound should never be ugly. So what can help with that, even if we do play all 3 notes, is that there's enough bow speed, and it's not too into the string. I mean, it's fortissimo, but it should be kind of, you know, circular and thrown off.